Before the noise of the world reaches your ears, before the weight of responsibility settles on your chest, before doubt tries to claim the first moments of your day, I want you to listen, not with fear, not with suspicion, but with the quiet openness of your heart. I am speaking to you now, closer than your breath, nearer than your thoughts. You have walked through nights where sleep felt like an enemy, and mornings where getting up felt heavier than lying down. You have smiled in front of people, while your soul quietly asked how much longer it could endure. I have seen every tear you wiped away before anyone noticed. I have heard the prayers you whispered when words felt too fragile to speak aloud. And I want you to know this from the very beginning. You were never invisible to me, not for a single moment. There were seasons when you felt strong, confident, certain of who you were and where you were going. And then there were moments when everything you thought you understood began to shake. Plans collapsed, promises failed, people you trusted changed, left, or revealed sides of themselves you never expected. You questioned yourself, replayed conversations, wondered if you were the problem, if something inside you was broken beyond repair. You tried to be better, to do better, to fix what felt wrong. But the harder you tried, the more tired you became. I watched you carry burdens you were never meant to carry alone. I watched you blame yourself for storms you did not create. And still, even when you doubted me, I never stopped holding you. I need you to understand something deeply. My love for you did not begin when you started believing the right things or doing the right things. It did not start when you prayed more or failed less. My love existed long before your awareness of it. It was there when you were still being formed, when your future was only a thought in my heart. It has never been fragile, never dependent on your consistency. You have changed many times. Your emotions have risen and fallen. Your faith has felt strong one day and weak the next. But my love has remained exactly the same, steady, certain, unmoving. You have been told, directly or indirectly, that love must be earned, that acceptance comes after achievement. That value is measured by usefulness. So when you failed, you assumed love was withdrawn. When you struggled, you believed you were a disappointment. When you fell back into old habits or made choices you regretted, shame whispered that you had gone too far this time. But those voices never came from me. I do not relate to you the way broken people relate to one another. I am not looking for reasons to turn away. I am always looking for ways to draw you closer. You carry memories that still sting, moments you wish you could erase, words you spoke or actions you took that now feel heavy with regret. You wonder how different your life might be if you could go back and choose again. Sometimes the past feels closer than the present, like it is always waiting to accuse you when you least expect it. But listen carefully. Your past is not your prison. It is not your identity. It is not the final word over your life. I have already stepped into every moment you wish you could undo, and I have redeemed it in ways you cannot yet fully see. When I forgave you, it was not partial or temporary. It was not fragile forgiveness that disappears when you stumble again. It was complete, final, certain. I did not forgive you because you promised to never fail again. I forgave you because I love you, and love absorbs the cost instead of demanding repayment. You keep revisiting your mistakes, punishing yourself with memories I have already released. You keep asking yourself if you have truly changed, if you truly deserve peace. But peace was never meant to be a reward for perfection. It is a gift I place in your life as you learn to trust me. I see the effort you make to keep going when your strength feels low. I see you showing up for others even when you feel empty yourself. I see the quiet discipline it takes to choose hope on days when despair feels easier. You may not see it as courage, but I do. You may not call it faith, but I recognize it. Faith is not always loud or confident. Sometimes it is simply choosing not to give up. Sometimes it is breathing through another difficult day and believing that something better is still possible. You have spent too much time measuring yourself by other people's progress. You look at their success, their stability, their joy, and you wonder why your journey feels harder. You ask why healing seems slower for you, why answers feel delayed, why peace comes in waves instead of staying. But your path is not theirs. The work I am doing in you is deep, intentional, and personal. I am not rushing it because what I am building is meant to last. I am shaping your character, expanding your compassion, strengthening your discernment. I am teaching you to lean on me, not just when everything falls apart, but in the quiet moments too. There are wounds inside you that came from betrayal, from abandonment, from being misunderstood or overlooked. Those wounds taught you to protect yourself, to be careful with trust, to expect disappointment. You learned to survive, but surviving is not the same as living. I do not want you locked in defense mode forever. I want to heal you deeply enough that you can love without fear, hope without hesitation, and move forward without constantly looking back. Healing takes time, not because I am unwilling, but because your heart needs space to learn safety again. You are not weak because you feel deeply. You are not broken because certain things still hurt. Sensitivity is not a flaw. It is evidence of a heart that has not hardened despite everything it has been through. I value that heart. I protect it. And I am teaching you how to protect it too, not by closing it off, but by anchoring it in my truth instead of other people's opinions. There will be days when you feel my presence strongly, when everything feels aligned and hopeful. And there will be days when I feel silent, distant, hard to sense. Do not confuse silence with absence. Even when you cannot feel me, I am working. I am arranging things behind the scenes, touching hearts, shifting circumstances, opening paths that will only make sense later. Trust is formed not only in moments of clarity, but in moments where you choose to believe without seeing immediate results. You worry about the future more than you realize. You wonder if things will ever truly change, if you will always carry this sense of longing, if joy will ever feel natural instead of forced. You imagine different outcomes, some hopeful, some frightening. But the future is not something you need to control. It is something I am already present in. I am not surprised by what is coming. I am not unprepared. And I will not abandon you when the road becomes unfamiliar. I know there are areas of your life that still feel unresolved, relationships that are strained or broken, dreams that feel delayed or forgotten, questions that remain unanswered. I am not ignoring these things. I am asking you to trust me with them. Surrender does not mean giving up hope. It means releasing the pressure of having to figure everything out on your own. It means allowing me to carry what is too heavy for you. You have been strong for a long time, strong for others, strong for appearances, strong because you felt like you had no other choice. But you do not have to be strong alone anymore. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to be honest about what you need. You are allowed to come to me without explanations or pretenses. I am not disappointed by your weakness. I meet you in it. This is not the end of your story. What you are walking through now is not punishment. It is preparation. There are parts of you being refined, perspectives being adjusted, fears being released. One day you will look back and realize that what felt like delay was actually protection, and what felt like loss was making room for something greater. You will see how carefully I guided you, even when you did not understand the path. For now, I ask you to stay. Stay present. Stay open. Stay willing to believe that your life still holds beauty, purpose, and meaning beyond what you can currently see. Do not rush your healing. Do not minimize your progress. Do not underestimate what I am doing in you, quietly, steadily, faithfully. You are safe with me. You are wanted. You are chosen. And this journey we are walking together is far from over. There are moments when you wake up and feel a quiet heaviness before anything has even happened. Nothing is wrong on the surface, yet something inside you feels unsettled. You move through your routine, answer messages, complete tasks, speak to people, but part of you feels like it is watching from a distance. You wonder why peace seems so close and yet so far away. I want you to know that this feeling does not mean you are failing. It means your soul is learning to listen more deeply. It means you are becoming aware of things you once ignored just to survive. For a long time, you learned how to silence your inner voice because it felt safer not to feel too much. You adapted to disappointment. You adjusted your expectations. You told yourself that this is just how life is, that hoping too much only leads to pain. But I never created you to live numb, disconnected from joy, or resigned to emptiness. I created you to live fully, to feel deeply, and to walk with confidence even when life is uncertain. The restlessness you feel is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that something new is being awakened within you. You have been patient longer than most people realize. You waited for change. You waited for clarity. You waited for others to meet you where you stood. And sometimes waiting felt like being forgotten. You asked yourself why answers seemed delayed while others moved forward so easily. You questioned whether your prayers mattered, whether your faith was strong enough, whether you had missed something essential. But waiting has never been wasted time. In the waiting, I was strengthening roots you could not see, preparing you for stability that would not collapse under pressure. You are learning that control does not bring peace. You tried planning every outcome, predicting every reaction, protecting yourself from every possible disappointment. And yet anxiety still found you. Fear still whispered. Exhaustion still followed. That is because peace is not found in control. Peace is found in trust. And trust grows slowly, through repeated moments of choosing to let go even when you do not feel ready. Each time you release what you cannot manage, you make space for me to move in ways you never could. There are relationships in your life that have shaped you deeply, some in beautiful ways, others in painful ones. Words spoken to you long ago still echo in your mind. Labels placed on you still influence how you see yourself. You learn to define yourself through other people's approval or rejection, but their voices were never meant to be the authority over your life. I am teaching you to separate who you are from how others treated you. Their inability to love you well does not diminish your worth. Their misunderstanding does not rewrite your identity. You sometimes wonder why certain patterns keep repeating, why similar struggles show up in different forms, why the same emotions resurface even after you thought you had moved past them. Growth is not a straight line. Healing is not about never feeling pain again. It is about responding differently when pain appears. Each time you face familiar emotions with greater awareness, honesty, and faith, you are moving forward even if it does not feel dramatic. You have learned a lot through disappointment. You have learned discernment. You have learned boundaries. You have learned the difference between attention and love, between attachment and connection. These lessons were costly, but they were not pointless. They are shaping you into someone who will recognize real peace when it arrives and protect it when it does. You will not settle for what drains you anymore. You will not chase what leaves you empty. You are becoming wiser, even if the process feels uncomfortable. There are days when old fears resurface unexpectedly. Fear of being alone. Fear of not being enough. Fear that happiness will always be temporary. These fears try to convince you that vulnerability is dangerous and hope is risky. But fear does not get to lead your life anymore. You do not have to eliminate fear to move forward. You only have to stop obeying it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to keep walking despite it. You are more resilient than you think. Look at what you have already survived. Look at the moments you thought would break you but did not. You adapted. You learned. You grew. Even when you felt lost, something inside you refused to quit. That persistence was not accidental. I placed it within you. It is evidence that your story is still unfolding, and that what lies ahead requires the strength you are developing now. I know you sometimes feel torn between who you were and who you are becoming. Letting go of old versions of yourself can feel like loss, even when growth is happening. Familiar pain can feel safer than unfamiliar freedom. But you are not betraying your past by choosing healing. You are honoring it by refusing to let it define your future. You can appreciate how far you have come without staying where you started. You do not need to have everything figured out to move forward. Clarity often comes after action, not before it. Take the next step, even if you cannot see the whole path. Trust that guidance will meet you as you go. I am not asking you to run. I am asking you to walk steadily, honestly, with your heart open and your eyes lifted. You have a tendency to be hard on yourself, to notice your flaws more quickly than your progress. You replay your mistakes more than your victories, but growth is happening even on days that feel ordinary. Small choices matter. Choosing kindness when you could be bitter matters. Choosing patience when you could react matters. Choosing faith when doubt is loud matters. These are the moments that shape your future more than you realize. You are learning to sit with your emotions instead of fighting them. You are learning that feeling deeply does not make you weak. It makes you human. Emotions are not enemies. They are messengers. When you listen to them without letting them control you, they guide you toward healing. I am teaching you balance, not suppression. Awareness without overwhelm. There will be moments ahead when things begin to shift unexpectedly. Opportunities will appear. Conversations will open. Doors you thought were closed will quietly unlock. Do not rush to question why now. Trust the timing. You were not ready before, in ways you could not see. Now, you are becoming someone who can sustain what is coming without losing yourself in it. You are not behind in life. You are not late. You are not failing because your path looks different. You are exactly where you need to be to become who you are meant to be. Comparison will only steal your joy. Your journey has its own rhythm, its own lessons, its own beauty. Honor it. When doubts come, return to what you know to be true. You are loved. You are not alone. You are growing even when growth feels slow. You are being guided even when the way forward feels unclear. Let these truths anchor you when emotions fluctuate. Do not rush this season. There is depth being formed in you now that will support joy later. There is clarity developing that will guide future decisions. There is strength being refined that will carry you through challenges you have not yet faced. This season is not empty. It is full of purpose. Stay present. Stay open. Stay willing to learn. You are not stuck. You are becoming. And what you are becoming is stronger, wiser, more grounded, and more free than you have ever been before.